one is also a really great version of the song. Glenn Gibson is playing this, and the part that I'm really looking at is the solo of the song, and I want to kind of take you into what is going on, so you can kind of understand some of what's going on behind the scenes for this. The song's in B flat, but although the song is in B flat, I don't like looking at it as a B flat song. In fact, for the purposes of the solo, the fact that it is in B flat doesn't even matter to me. Let's go and listen to the part that I really want to do. Now, listen to that. That was just such an amazing line. And I want to look at that line that he just played right there. Wow, he went into a totally, it didn't even, that key, that harmonic chord, that was such an interesting harmonic choice that he went there. Why? What makes him go there? How did he know to go there? What was he doing? And so what I want to see is, instead of looking at it and relating to the song from B flat, because there's a lot of ways to explain this. And different people say different things, but in the way my mind works, I actually have this in I have two different keys, that the solo is basically changing between one key to the next constantly in a pattern, in a revolving pattern. And in the first key, I have a G flat. And so I have him using notes from a G flat major pattern, so that the notes that he chooses to do are following notes that work well with this voicing. And in the second part of the solo, I have him doing notes that follow a C Dorian pattern. So the G flat major pattern is this. The C Dorian is this. Okay, so in the song, now during the vamp of this song, it has basically 6 notes, 3 from here, 3 from here, and that's what the bass is following. A flat, Okay, so do you see what's going on here? See what's going on? So how do we relate to the solo? We relate to the solo not in a B flat. We know the key is B flat, but we don't care about that. For point of the solo, we look at this as being a 2-5-1 progression. Okay, the second note of G flat major scale, the 5th note of the scale, and the 1st note of the scale. These are essentially 7th chords, dominant 7th chords, and this would be a major 7th chord. So it'll sound like this. Well, no, that's not right. Actually, let me change that, because those aren't dominant sevenths, those are minor sevenths. This first one here. Okay, try it again. Yeah. Yes, that is definitely a minor seventh, and this is the dominant seven. Okay, so we have a 2 minor, 5 dominant, 1 major. And then we have a minor here, D minor 7. I'm going to say G7. And then a C minor 7 or 9. I guess the point is that just knowing the qualities are helpful. Minor, dominant, then major here and minor here. Let me see if that works. Okay. Alright, this looks good. Okay. So you have an A flat major, D flat, and it goes in this pattern. Why am I trying to do these chords here? Well, because his solo is operating under these chords. 2 5 1s. Alright, the second note is a D. So that's a D minor 7. And then the fifth of the Dorian scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's a G7. When I was playing it, it had other notes, you know. You saw that sharp 5 there, but that's just what we call we just call that an extension, but that's not the main part of the chord is this. And then we have the C minor 7. So all right, so those are the chords. All right, so I need to figure out what the notes are, and that's what some of you are wanting to know. Well, what are the notes? But then if I don't go through this and I just tell you the notes, then you don't understand the context, and then you have a hard time knowing when to use it. Okay, so what I want to do is go through the notes for you and then let you see what they are. So let's write them down first. All right, so da 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 da. So we have a D major triad. Going to the second note. Your relative pitch should tell you that. So do you hear that? Do you hear what the bass is doing that allows him to make these choices of the notes here? All notes that are ironically within the G flat major scale, right? So da 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 da. So what is he doing here? Why is he changing? That's changing because it's moving. The bass is now moving into this part. So his solo and the choices of the notes that he uses are now going to kind of are going to be notes that work with the C Dorian sound, but following this kind of a pattern. So when he goes in here, okay, so I'm going to have him going from a B flat. Let's do da da da. Okay. Da da da. So da, 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 and then we'll have him do an A flat A. We'll just have him trill up to the B flat. Then we'll have him go back down G, F. Okay. Da, 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 and keep on going. Da, 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 da. And then hits the E flat there. And then as he hits that E flat, he has a left hand voicing that is an E flat, G, and a B flat. Let's see if that works. So you heard a dun 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 dun. That's that right there. Let me try to play this, see how that works. Okay, so, and we're not going to do it full speed. Right now we're just trying to see if these are the notes here. So. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. Okay, so let me just clean this up here and make sure that I don't have anything out here. We're just going to have him trill from that G to the B flat there. Okay, yeah. All right, so this works. So someone's going to say, well, how do I come up with that? But you're not. That's not what transcribing is about. What transcribing is about is seeing what somebody else did, under what context, and asking yourself why it works. So the kind of analysis that I'm doing right now, which they said is worth gold if you can transcribe yourself. And the current thought is that by transcribing someone, you find their patterns, and then you can apply it to your playing. And the work of that transcription could be worth gold for you to have to do that kind of work, because that's work that you're only going to get by transcribing something. And that's one of the reasons why I transcribe very short lines and not whole songs. Well, no, what I mean by that is that's the reason why I only explain short portions of the song and I don't explain the whole thing. Of course, I'm going to go into a little bit more depth on for those of you who are members of the website, so we can kind of go over some more lines. But for the YouTube channel, I'm just going to go over this small one right quick and just kind of showing you what's going on, because he is using notes, what I call melodic lines. Okay, I call them melodic lines. Go check out the video I did with Butch Woody, showing that everything is not always a scale, right? He's playing melodies. He's playing little melodies. He's playing what someone could sing. He's playing what someone could play on an instrument or saxophone. And he's playing things that work within these. So what works? What works with these kind of chords against the G major? A flat, right? Right? So what you want to do is you want to try to find other notes, that may work. and something that you like, because what you're going to find is that this whole song, his entire solo goes from a G flat major to C Dorian, G flat major, C Dorian, G, and then what you can do is you can examine what he does. If you're going to get the MIDI file, don't just memorize the notes. Then you look and see, okay, I wonder what, well, this is, Sean's just explaining just one of these things, right? Well, let me see what he does on the next one and why that works. Let me see what he does. Each one is different. And let me see what he does here, right? And then you go and you memorize that, and you will find that your skill set will improve greatly, because you'll have lines, and you'll have things to play. You have things to use over certain types of voicings, and you'll be able to pull them up at random, the more and more that you practice some of these lines. I like this one simply because even when he's doing this little melodic line here, he goes dun, 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 dun. Notice how he emphasizes that E flat there. He emphasizes the E flat there, showing the Dorian sound. Dun, 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 dun. You heard that? Dun, 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 dun. Right? And notice that he starts on the B flat. So he kind of like emphasizes this here. He starts on that, and then he does some kind of what sounds like a bebop descending dominant scale, starting from that B flat here, and so that's interesting, right? Because all of these are like little details here, but these details don't get lost in the little details, and not look at the big picture, which is that he's trying to do things that will work with the C Dorian sound. You're just trying to do notes that are going to work, and we got to emphasize in the C Dorian, we got to emphasize that E is flat. We got to emphasize that the B is flat. All the other notes, everything else is extra. Trilling up and all those extra notes here that may not be within the Dorian scale, those are just what I call accidentals, or part of chromatic movements. But they're not important. What's important is maintaining the sound, maintaining the Dorian sound, maintaining the G flat major sound. Even this chord here. Look at that chord. Examine that chord. Somebody's going to say that's an E flat triad. No, it's not. It's not an E flat triad. That's not why he's playing that. How do you know to play an E flat triad? That's not an E flat triad. That's a Dorian voicing. Because in the Dorian voicing, I already told you the notes for the Dorian voicing are that. Right? That's a Dorian scale. Some people say Dorian mote, right? That's a Dorian scale. So that's what allows that nice harmonic sound, because he's just using the 3rd, 5th, and 7th note of that scale, right? At that part of the song. Then you hear how nice that sounds? Right? Sounds like he's doing something really neat. But by playing around with the Dorian and knowing that it's a Dorian here, gives you choices. Why not choose other notes? Why not do other things and try to see other things that may work for you, right? So go ahead and experiment with this. I'm gonna go on and show the rest of this for some of those, for those of you who are subscribed to my site. And but for the YouTube channel, I want to thank you for watching. And yeah, go enjoy this. He definitely blazes this solo. So enjoy watching it, and take care.